All right, time to boot up Siege. I am so excited. Said nobody ever. I can't wait to play after not having played for a few months. Oh, what's going on? I can't move. Oh, somebody played Castle and it crashed the server? Okay, let me just hop into some unranked. I don't want to, waste my time with trying to rank up or anything. Oh my god. This guy is walling? But wait, there's some people that are walling, but not really because they're using the recording software. All right, let me take a break from playing. Let me look at the store or something. Oh my god, the skin is worth $50? There's memberships now for Siege? The game is free to play, which is bringing the most amount of cheaters ever? Seems like we're gonna need Operation Health 2.0 because this game is on its last legs. Hey, howdy, how's it going? My name is Bennjipie. I recently got back into Rainbow Six Siege. Oh, sorry, Siege X. And I've got to say, it's amazing to be back on. Constant glitches, very little to earn for free even though I bought the game. And oh boy, hackers, zimmers, cheaters, all of the above are running rampant. At first, I was a little skeptical about making a video on Siege because, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemans, I am not a champ player. I'm not a diamond player. I am not absolute garbage, but I'm not prime bolo. I am just the average hardcore gamer that likes competitiveness. I like trying to get good at things. And I know I'm not that good to give my opinion on operators some of the time or even some weapons, I'm not in Pro League, but I do know when there is a problem with the video game. So let's talk about why Siege X is a complete disaster. Just so we can kind of get an understanding of where I'm coming from with the game. I started in year 8. I was originally on console, and I only ended up getting to platinum rank. I played with a stack I at least duo or trio queued, and that made playing way easier. But once I stopped playing with those people, I found myself playing less and less. I was okay with solo queue, but only for so long. And once Deimos came out and we got a few tweaks to the shield operators, I just found myself not really enjoying the game in general, so I just left. I returned in the season right before Siege X, the prep phase, year 10, season 1. I got into PC for Siege and was just relearning the game again, adjusting to certain changes and barely playing ranked. I was playing mainly with one friend of mine, but due to how the game felt, him and I just weren't playing that often. We were both unranked and eventually in Copper together, and we realized that through Siege Tracker, you could see that a lot of the people in our lobbies were Emerald and above. The toxicity,
What the?
people not giving comms, people not using cams. Altogether, it was just a not so fun experience. Right before I stopped playing, I tried muting the voice chat, turning off all chat and team chat, and to be honest, made the game a little bit better to play, but without comms, makes it a little bit harder. So sadly, the game just wasn't growing on me. I stopped playing, I uninstalled, and I just went to do other stuff, no biggie. But then with Siege X dropping, I found that there were a lot of people that I knew were coming back to try it. I reinstalled, started playing, and still have not stopped yet. I've come to the realization that solo queuing for ranked is essentially worthless and it would be better to just eat dirt and rocks, but it's fun to really try and get good on PC. I'm not insane, but I've gotten much better with crosshair placement and understanding the audio, at least some of the time. The one thing I will say is that when you play this game for more than an hour solo queue, most of you would prefer the electric chair like I have. I watched a lot of creators for Siege, mainly Varsity Gaming, your boy Roy, and Evan Braddock. There's also a bunch of creators that they play with I can't fully remember, but they definitely add a lot of light to the game. A long time ago, I would watch Smitty's videos on Siege as well. He did funtages. Those were really good. They're absolute peak. I suggest you go and watch them.
Oh my god, he's back.
I've known about the game for a while, but I just never felt the need to play it until other people got me into it. That was my friends Oreo and Deep.
There, what you watch that? I watch.
What do you want? Blame them for the misery I have dealt with. My experience is more on the competitively casual side, if that is a thing. I know I'm not going pro, I'm not semi-pro, I'm not buying special controllers or control freaks to have an advantage on console. I'm not using macros or backpedals or paying for boosting or using a zim. I'm just playing the game that's right in front of me. And at the same time, I have noticed a lot of bad and odd changes over the years for the game, even in my time of playing. I've done my fair share of binge watching the history of Siege type of videos, and I think I'm all caught up. I didn't really like the nerf to grenades or the nerf to frost mats. I haven't enjoyed the TDM meta, and I wish it just didn't exist at all, and the 1.5 kind of stemmed that. I think Ashe being able to counter Mira is a good thing, little things like that are great. I think Nook is essentially useless, because they just made her like Vigil on attack instead of giving her her silent footsteps, because that was cool. I never liked shield operators, and I think characters like Fenrir and Azami make this game incredibly boring. Oh, and also, nerf Sledge. Let's start with the Siege X update. Was it really worth doing this big promotional stunt and paying a bunch of streamers to play a game that they have never played before? It was, to be honest. They got a whole lot more people playing the game, and that is great. We know this because Steam charts is booming in terms of recent numbers, and a lot of games that are on several platforms have admitted that there is a consistent trend. If on Steam charts the game is rising, then probably on Xbox and PlayStation the game is rising as well. Not exact numbers, but comparable. The game is free to play now. This means that anyone can pop in and get TK'd by their teammates, but you are limited on what you can earn, what you can do, what you can play. Very, very limited, all with the incentive to buy the full game and get access to everything like ranks and all the operators. I fully understand the idea behind this, but I think we really need to take a good look at all the promises and claims for what Siege X was supposed to be, and then compare it to what we have now. Audio got an overhaul. They changed how certain things are phrased in terms of having high or low dynamic range. I don't think there's much of a difference between them. High makes stuff all the same level of noise, and low makes certain things not as impactful to your ears. Audio at the start of the season was very terrible, and what makes it worse is it was random. Sometimes you could hear everything, you felt like Daredevil, then other times you wouldn't know if it was you that farted or it was someone halfway across the map. I think the audio is much better, but saying you reworked audio is basically just saying we ruined the audio. I can't tell any difference from Siege X to now. It's pretty much the same. We're going to be getting maps that get modernized, which is basically just taking the lighting on the current maps and making them look similar to the first few years of Siege. I'm glad they're doing this, but at the same time, the lighting wasn't really that big of an issue. Like, was it hard to see people sometimes? Because that entire problem is thrown out the window. Now operators are highlighted with the enemy color. That's insane. This heavily affects the game. You know what else heavily affects the game? The random changes to fire extinguishers, gas pipes, smoke detectors, metal detectors, fire hydrants, stoves, garbage cans, a literal pile of cow shit. No, but seriously, they took the time to add little changes around the map or reworks that overall don't truly affect the game that much. It's a nice touch, but it's not necessary. You have things like gas lines that typically get shot out by defenders before the round even starts. Fire extinguishers are just left there and people don't really interact with it ever. And metal detectors require an entire utility slot in order to turn them off. In reality, you just end up making a super loud noise with the EMP that doesn't exactly do much against the beeping of the metal detector. There's also better textures on these modernized maps, which is good. I do like that. The last thing that makes Siege X is the new rappel system. You can hop into windows if you break them as you go in. You can sprint now. You can also rotate to other sides of the building that you rappel onto. They also have a few bugs of people being able to rappel through ceilings and abusing whichever map with that bug until it's either patched or taken out. We also got banter between operators. Yay. And I can check out my gun. That's cool. I know there were other things that got announced at the reveal. I will talk about Dual Front later, but those pieces of content should be happening anyways, in my opinion. Altogether, Siege X doesn't really make sense in my eyes. It was obviously to get people interested. It was to bring old players back. It was just to re-innovate the game that we have now. But why do this if they weren't going to fix the core problems? Making the game free to play is a good thing for getting new players, but it isn't the greatest for keeping them. It also slightly harms the players that paid for the game already. If you're someone who's extremely competitive and you don't really care about cosmetics or even packs, then this clearly does not concern you. But one of my many gripes I have is the renown change. They made it so everyone earns less across the board when it comes to renown, and this was done under the disguise of Siege X being free to play. What should have been done is let people earn renown even for free, but at the current rate, and allow people who bought the game or buy it to be able to earn it at the old rate, or just make it the old rate all around. Why am I giving Ubisoft a way to make even more money? I know it's a different type of elite for Valkyrie's new skin, but it's still an elite, and it does not need to be $50. It is $45 if you bought the battle pass, and that makes little to no difference. Most bundles in the game are excessive in terms of price. With renown and packs, those are just as expensive. I understand collabs being a little bit more, but it's not worth spending $15 on an elite. And then you have packs that you earn for free that will just have the chance of giving you 35 greens out of 50 that you got for free. They make event packs even more expensive. I understand it to a degree, but it's egregious. If you didn't know, the battle pass doesn't give you back the currency you spent on it. You'll always need to pay an extra $5 a season just for that. Somehow, Fortnite actually did this well. It's the only game to ever treat the battle pass correctly. On top of this, they removed the year pass and replaced it with memberships that, going by their like to dislike ratio, I don't think people like this idea. Memberships don't offer much. I had to really look into this because I didn't think it was as much of a big deal as some people were letting on. on, but it kind of is. It's $10 a month compared to around $30 for the year pass. Memberships give out basically nothing. If you were going to spend $10 for the battle pass one season, it's good to just buy the membership one time, but it offers nothing else if that is the only bit of value. There's membership skins. They actually look pretty interesting, but it's not worth $10 every month to get it, or $80 a year. They seem like the skins should be in the battle pass instead of the not so good looking reskins of Ashe that we get for the 80th time. You get some tier skips and other things in the memberships, and you also get the battle pass for that time, but it's not really that worth it. The year pass offered more quality rather than just quantity. You got bundles, all the operators during that year, and all of the battle passes just for the year. That's insane. $30 for that? That's great. And I know the game needs to make a profit or make money, but making things very overpriced is not a way to get people to spend money on it, especially in a game where you can't even see the skins for the operators you're playing. They also added the marketplace, which lets people sell skins back and forth at the price of whatever people market it at. Obviously, people won't buy stuff for a lot, but this is a way to earn stuff for free if you're kind of smart with what you sell and what you're okay with losing, so that, you know, you can get some R6 credits. It still doesn't excuse the fact that this benefits older players rather than everyone, since most older players have extremely rare items that are unobtainable now. I really don't like FOMO. Something else that didn't sit right with me is instead of adding new skins during certain events like Mute Protocol, they have instead just reskinned the same outfits and sold those, which requires everyone to still either spend or grind an insanely long amount for a chance at receiving the skins. This affects old players more, since most might have had all the skins already in order to get the memento skin, or whatever you'd call it. You earn this if you have everything at that time, which means Ubisoft was just trying to milk their players for money, because obviously you can pay money for the packs if you want to instead. Memberships instead of a year pass, the battle pass, $50 bundles, reduced renown gain, the game going free to play. It's all to try and suck as much money out of the players. I don't like it. I'd happily pour a little bit of money here and there just for the sake of it. Like if the year pass still existed, I would buy that all the time now. And it's because Siege can be very enjoyable. But when you see how grubby the company is, it makes you want to just save a few bucks instead. I want everyone to understand that Dual Front is a useless, and when I say useless, I mean a useless game mode. There is Core Siege, and then there's Dual Front. Dual Front is accessible for everyone, free to play or not, and it's just the combination of the worst ideas imaginable. I will add that I really wanted to give this game mode a chance. I figured it might take some adjustment, but other than adjusting, the mode is just not really meant for Siege. It doesn't include the main part of the game, which is one-shot headshots. On top of that, the respawn timer, how you respawn, and how you can help your teammates while dead is an insane drag. The entire idea of the mode is you have a 6v6 30-minute long match where both teams can attack or defend objectives. Your team has their own set of bombs and the other team does as well. In the middle of the match, you can eventually rescue a hostage, and whichever team successfully rescues the hostage will get 2 bars out of 3 for their attacking side, basically helping them advance and winning. You can have all 6 people attacking, you can split it down the middle for defense and attack. It's really all up to how your team wants to play. If you are dead, you can spawn a drone on the person you're spectating to hopefully help them with figuring out where attackers or defenders are. As of me writing this, they removed certain operators and replaced them with others. I don't really mind that. What I do mind is that your drones will eventually get destroyed after their batteries go down, and that is just unavoidable. It will break even if you don't move it or anything. The respawn timer takes 30 seconds, and on top of that, it's just one map and one map only. Certain things like where the bomb is placed is changed every match, but there's only a few predetermined locations. I bet if you filled 5 other people that you know and they enjoy Siege, this might be nice to play. But the solo queue experience is horrible. You end up defending by yourself most of the time, and the other 5 people will attack without you. You can run back and forth between every part of the map no matter where you spawn, other than further sides of the enemy spawn. I totally get that. But like, why can't I just force myself to die and respawn somewhere else if I really want to? And judging by how content creators have treated this mode, nobody plays this besides the free-to-play players mostly. There are some challenges which I think is great to get people to at least try it, because they'll definitely play, but besides that, it's just slow and boring. If you are solo queued and go against even a duo queue, you might lose 10 times out of 10 because they have a Monty with literally any other operator, and if you're solo on defense because everyone else isn't with you, it's borderline impossible to fight by yourself in a lot of those situations. Maybe the mode is good for challenges like your battle pass challenges, I don't know for sure, but it is very flawed. I'm willing to see it out, okay? I'm willing to see what it could do, but they need to tweak a lot for the mode. There is a lot that needs to be reworked and fixed. I personally don't like Ranked 2.0. A lot of the community does not like Ranked 2.0. Ubisoft has added little things that somewhat explain it, but at the end of the day, you as a player are going to be left confused. Ranked 2.0 launched a little over 2 years ago, and obviously it was a replacement for Ranked 1.0. Ranked 1.0 did not give any rewards besides a charm for whichever rank you ended the season in. It also provided a very clear answer to what your rank and skill was. If you were silver, you were in a certain range of MMR, or matchmaking rating. It's a number that will determine who you're queued into matches with. So if you're a gold, you're in lobbies with other golds. For a good rank system, you will typically see that the average player is ranked in the middle of the graph. This creates a bell curve, which is good for your game. There's not too many on the right, there's not too many on the left, there's not too many coppers, not too many champs. For Siege, this is how their graph looks since Rank 2.0 was released. Most people barely even get to the rank they belong in because your rank is not an actual sign of your skill. So if you're constantly queued against champs, diamonds, or emeralds, like I have been ever since writing this video, you will struggle to rank up unless you play with a stack, since the game believes you should be in those lobbies. Rank 2.0 can still be easily abused, like having a champ queued with a copper. Instead of being in just copper lobbies, it's gold, but that's really not that much of a difference. They created some systems to help mitigate the problem, but realistically, Rank 2.0 is just a bullshit progression system to try and have their players play the game longer. Ubisoft says your MMR is hidden, which means you don't know what your actual skill is, because why not be transparent with your players? Since the hidden MMR and your visible rank don't match, this makes a player like myself pissed. I don't know what my skill is. I don't know where I belong in the game, and regardless, I don't feel like I've gotten the proper ranked experience out of Siege. I went from being peak plat on console to instantly thrown into emerald lobbies on PC. I have not stopped going against champs to emeralds, and the obvious answer to this problem would be make your hidden MMR and your rank match. So if I'm already queued against emeralds, give me that visible rank and the rewards that follow. Ubisoft doesn't do this because they want more player engagement, which is something they even admitted in their panel that explained this shitty system. Rank 2.0 is garbage and needs to be taken out. Bring back 1.0 with placement matches and let players earn the same rewards they do now. Stupid ass company, I swear to God.
I thought that because of CJX and the new anti-cheat that I wouldn't run into any cheaters anytime soon. But I was wrong. In less than
CJX is already overrun by cheaters, making it difficult for people to enjoy the game.
I hate to be the one to say it, but cheaters have completely taken over CJX.
Cheaters are going insane in CJX.
This little kid in my lobby was quite literally cheating while I was streaming and while he was streaming.
No, I have a dev on my rank team. That does not stop low-life cheaters in this game.
In Siege X, with the game going free to play, there are cheaters literally everywhere. And from what a lot of people are experiencing, I won't exactly say I'm included, you know, I can't fully tell. There are a lot of cheaters in ranked as well. Ubisoft claimed to have made their anti-cheat better going into Siege X, but from what content creators are showing and what a lot of people are saying, with evidence to back it up, the cheating is at an all-time high. I have personally ran into a cheater this season, and it was in quick play. In quick play. Full tracking through walls, 100% accuracy back to back, and I know it's not exactly as important, but through Varsity Gaming's hacker replay streams and videos, we know that there's still people using lag switches. I dealt with this type of player in year 8. Lag switch before turning a corner, then they turn it off. Swing, pop you in the head because you're holding an angle. It's pathetic. There are people that have capabilities of crashing the entire lobby. Nobody gains or loses points, it's just one big waste of time. The castle glitch. People were able to do this without technically cheating because it was an exploit, and as of me recording this, castle has been now patched and is fully in ranked and unranked again, but originally the glitch was you could break barricades and it would crash the whole server. Another waste of time. And I'm gonna add this in right now. People already found another glitch not even 24 hours after him getting unvaulted. I believe it was fixed a week ago, maybe a little less before the castle patch, but there is also the OBS glitch that allowed anyone to have walls while on PC. Never knew how this was possible. I don't suck enough to try it, and I have a feeling that I dealt with people that were abusing this until it was patched. And keep in mind, a lot of this has been going on for over 3 weeks. And you know, speaking of glitches and bugs, there's a bug that allows Deimos to use his shotgun while tracking people. He's probably going to get taken out for a few weeks. And there is also a bunch of glitches revolving around people rappelling through walls, teleporting around. Azami can currently use her barriers to get into the ceilings on certain maps. There's also people being able to rappel through the ceilings on certain maps, like Oregon. I don't understand how this game can be such a mess. I think the main problem for hackers and cheaters is that you can never fully tell when people are cheating or not. You can check stats and see high KD, headshot accuracy, but there are people that really try to hide it. There's good players that can hide it. And it's not like a hoax or something like that. It's legit. You have cheaters that assume that everyone is cheating, so then they start cheating too. You have white knight cheaters that will combat the blatant cheaters with their own cheats. It's just a miserable experience because for a game that is so competitive and having the thrill of getting, a 3K, 4K, you kill the entire team, get a 5K, maybe headshotting someone through the wall off a sheer guess, or even being able to roam clear successfully and killing a few people. That joy is gone when you don't know if you lost or won fairly. You can't ever be fully sure if people are cheating or not. You can't fully learn the game if some people you play against are walling or aimbot or soft aiming. It's not fun. And all of this lies within Ubisoft. Ubisoft has not taken the full precautions that are necessary for Siege X going free to play. The attention that was brought to the game brought back a lot of cheaters or maybe created some new ones. Nobody enjoys playing against cheaters. And something I personally have not enjoyed is the solo experience. It really points out how a lot of the players play, at least in my lobbies. I feel like a lot of people may also deal with these issues some of the time, and that's why I want to kind of talk about them. Reasonably, you can't fix it because this is just the way that it is, but it is a critique. There are a lot of times where I have teammates that don't go on cams when they die, don't call out, or even type in chat. People will throw the match, run outside, and die instantly, trying to say that they're going for a spawn peek. People that will go into an unranked match or even ranked and rage quit, completely throwing your game. You get people pretty frequently that will only play operators with a magnification scope and won't even use the ability the operator has. No one will run hard breach, and when they do, like this ace, they will just ignore you and try to frag rather than take a wall easily and move into sight. Everyone picks operators with guns that are relatively easy to control. If the gun has a ton of recoil, expect that operator to basically never be used. When 1.5s existed and certain operators had them, or even magnification scopes now, people did not touch them once they were bound to just one-time scopes. Spawn peeking in this game has got to be one of the most talented things you can do. On one hand, you have really good aim, and you help your team out by putting yourself in a 5v4. But at the same time, certain maps have way too many areas that allow for the spawn peeking shit. Cafe is one of the maps I hate the most due to this issue. I personally feel like spawn peeking shouldn't be a thing, and most of the fight should happen within the building that you're playing on. It's really not fun to be the only person that does anything with the site. Having 4 roamers is not enjoyable at all, especially if they keep dying while trying to spawn peek. It's even worse when you don't realize that the people are going to abandon site because you probably won't have an operator that has a shotgun to make rotates. Sometimes you get people that'll start screaming at you in VC, which is just an instant mute, or you get people in quick match that are hard comming, even though it quite literally doesn't matter because knowing our odds, the next round is going to have someone go full blatant. I've gotten people that'll team kill purely because they think it's funny, but in reality, it just ruins my enjoyment. It ruins everyone's enjoyment. I don't talk shit or say anything. I give comms. I barely talk or respond to anything else. If it's like just a conversation, I'm not really trying to make friends with people on Siege. I know how a lot of you guys are. That's not fun. Once again, you cannot fix these issues because it's a part of the game and it's something to work around. Like, you can counter it. Everything is counterable in Siege. You can counter how annoying your teammates are or the other team is. You can counter the spawn peeking, but it just adds a few layers to the game that are just not enjoyable. I don't think Ubisoft realizes that in certain situations, just like in Overwatch in my opinion, sometimes the game is just better off without certain operators or heroes. If you need to dedicate one full update to remastering an operator and all you do is just make them worse to go against, you have objectively failed at your job. Just call it a rework. It's not a remaster. And on top of that, don't do it at all. They did a rework for Recruit and completely killed the casual side of it that was recruit rushing and stuff like that. You just, no 5-man recruits. We don't do that anymore. They reworked Blackbeard from being really terrible, but able to take a bullet to the head, whatever. And now he can fully hop into windows, even on rappel, doesn't have to make any noise, has a full shield that goes down only for his head, just a little bit, but it covers his whole chest. For this season, instead of coming out with a new operator that would be memorable for, the 10th year of Siege, they reworked Clash. An operator, I think, gets probably the most amount of hate out of any operator due to how unfun she is as a character. She can't kill with her electricity, she doesn't do damage with it, but now she can sprint with and place her shield. There is so much around the Clash rework that is just pointless. It's terrible. A better rework would just be removing her and replacing her with another defensive op. It would be far more interesting to do remasters alongside other content instead of just treating the remaster as the bulk of the content when the players have already most likely used the operator before. I'm disappointed with these past reworks. They genuinely need to stop doing them because all they do is just make it worse. You know, I didn't really think I would get here in my writing. Since starting this script, starting this video, trying to play a little bit every now and again to kind of have some more clips for this video, in between stuff with life, this game just keeps getting worse to play. And I know that there are a lot of people, potentially, that will comment, oh, this video was just hating. You just hated on the video, or you just hated it on the game. You're not even trying it. I did try it. I've tried it for a while. It wasn't meant to be a hate video. This was just everything that is readily available to us that I am critiquing. I wanted to talk about the good and the bad. The more that I wrote this, I went, holy shit. There is so much wrong with this game. I can't even list it all out. By the gameplay you've been watching, it's pretty clear that I am not a champ level player at all. I'm not going to be that good. It's impossible. I'm fine with that. I accept it. I'm not butthurt. I don't want to be a champ. That sounds like a lot of, stress and pressure. It's just not enjoyable. It's okay to not be super good at something. But if that's the case, why am I consistently queued against champ after champ after champ after champ? I got put into a game with someone that's been champ several seasons in a row. Why is it that I just can't enjoy my time on the game without hearing absolutely nothing, then suddenly, boom, I'm dead. No audio. There's just no audio. Boom, dead. So a lot of the time now, pretty often, audio is terrible. The cheaters are abundant. The terrible matchmaking is some of the worst matchmaking I've ever seen. And on top of that, ranked matchmaking and ranked 2.0 is a complete joke. No hit registration on guns, server latency and packet loss, the countless bugs and glitches that plague Siege X. It is quite literally the most miserable experience I have ever had on a video game. If you managed to watch up until this point and magically you're contemplating if you should buy Siege or not, you'd be better off turning that $20 into pennies and swallowing them. It's a much better time. Siege X is one of the worst launches I have ever seen for a game, and I saw the launch of Overwatch 2. They could fix one of these problems that I've listed out with the game, and if it's not cheaters or the anti-cheat, and cheaters don't a lot of them go away, I'll never change my rating on Siege X. If you're a newcomer, which is level 50 and below, the game is probably really great since everyone else is new. You're probably going to deal with Smurfs because they don't really do anything about that. But besides that, it might be fun with friends. If you plan on solo queuing, give up now. If you plan on buying the game and playing past level 50, give up now. The game is not worth a penny. This game needs Operation Health 2.0 desperately. They cannot keep going with this game if this is how it will function. I'm quite bothered. Subscribe if you feel like pressing that button. Comment for my sanity or something. And yeah, next video is going to be something that's much more positive, I hope. Eat water, drink food, stay safe. See ya.